I'm counting cards in Vegas and the casinos do not like it. In this video, I have a run-in with the casino manager who thinks he knows the law, but breaks it anyway.
I know what you're trying to pull. I'll tell you what, let's do it security. How's that sound?
You also get to see exactly what it's like playing high-stakes blackjack in real time, the swings of thousands of dollars in just minutes. I haven't really recorded much today. I've just hit one place. We're in the Fremont area. It's really nice. We're gonna go to Golden Gate, check out their casinos. That's my favorite part of being a Vegas counter is seeing everything, you know? I get to travel and I get to make money, which is awesome. All right, I'll see you guys later. Here I'm playing at the Golden Nugget. It's a $25 minimum double deck game, and I'm gonna be betting up to one spot of $1,200. In this shoe, the count was negative the whole time, so I never got to raise my bets. In Vegas, surveillance will typically catch you regardless of how big or small you spread, and considering that I'd already been flyered that week in Vegas, I'm really not expecting to last that long at any casino I play at. Into the next shuffle, I was dealt to 16 against the dealer's 5, so I stood. The dealer drew to 18 and I lost, but the count now rose to a true 1. I bet $100 and got a 12 against a 10. I hit, got a 15, but I hit again and then I bust. The count stayed the same, and so I replaced my bet, and this time, blackjack. Blackjacks are where a card counter's edge comes from. We bet high when there are more aces and 10s left in the deck, making them way more likely. A few hands later, the count rose and I put out $300. I got dealt an 8 against the dealer's 3, and I drew to 20. The dealer drew to 18, so I won that hand. The game was moving fast, and now the count was just under a true 4, so I deviated a little bit from my bet spread and bet higher than I would have at a true 3. I pulled a 10 to make a hard 17, and the dealer drew a 5 and a 9, busting their hand. $600 for us. The next hand, I was dealt a soft 15 against a 5. This is one of those hands where not doubling down is throwing away money. I had $1,200 on the table, and what I didn't know was that the card I was just dealt was an ace, meaning I had a 16. I need the dealer to bust, bad. The dealer flipped a 7. They now have 12, followed by a 10. This is huge. $1,200 in one hand is never a bad thing. With the count still high, I kept out my current bet, and I was given a 12 against the dealer's 3. It was over a true 2, so I deviated from basic strategy and waived it. Unfortunately, this time it didn't work out. At this point, the count jumped super high, $1,000 out. I was dealt a 9 against the dealer's 10. I was pretty confident with my 19, but the dealer slapped me in the face with a 20, and I lost $1,000 just like that. I pulled my bets back slightly, and I was given an 18 against the dealer's 10. This hand, all I could do was wave it and pray she wouldn't flip a 20. But fortunately for me, she flipped a 3 and pulled a 10 for a clean 23 dealer bust. The count began to drop, and so did my bets. I pulled the dreaded 16 against the dealer's 10. This is by far the worst hand in blackjack, and without surrender as an option, I'm forced to play it out. I stood because the count was positive, and of course, the dealer flipped a 20, and we lost $600. The last hand of the shoe, I dropped to $100 and pulled a soft 20 against the dealer's 8. Naturally, I stood, and the dealer drew to 17. With the first positive shoe over, I took a look around to gauge for any heat. This whole time, the pit boss was watching me because I was the only player in the high limit area. But I stuck to the plan and I played through it. Halfway through the next deck, the count went up and I put out $100. It's a push, but the count rose, so I put out $500 for the next bet. 5 versus the dealer's 10. I hit for a total of 15. The count wasn't high enough to deviate, so I hit again and I pulled the Giga 6. The dealer didn't even get a chance to compete for a push because they drew to an 18 and they had to stand. The very next hand, I had $800 out and was dealt a 9 against the dealer's 7. Usually you'd just hit this, but the count was soaring, which meant this hand was definitely a double down. And once again, I had no idea that the dealer gave me a 3, making my total 12. The pit boss was watching my largest bet of the session. $1,600 was out on the table. And for the second time tonight, I needed the dealer to bust in order to win this absolutely massive hand. With tensions high, the dealer flipped a 6, followed by, you guessed it, a 10. And just like that, we had $1,600 coming our way. I remember it was right at this moment that the pit boss looked straight at me, and she very quickly congratulated me before walking away to make a phone call. I had a feeling my time would be up very soon. So the pit boss came back to me. She asked for my ID and she looked almost surprised when I declined. There was no way this was an age check. Eventually she left to make a phone call, and at that point I knew I only had a few minutes left to finish up whatever positive hands I had. So while I was coloring up, two men approached me from behind.
Alright, the thing is coloring up. Once you're done coloring up, security's gonna take you to the cage, and you're no longer welcome here, okay?
Alright, no worries, guys.
The games manager had come down to back me off and personally escort me to the cage. This is all typical card counter stuff, and all that was left to do was cash out and leave. I didn't know it at the time, but in a few minutes, things would get really heated.
You have your flip card with you?
No, I do not.
You have your ID with you?
I do, but I'd rather not show it.
Okay, then I need to get some information from you. I need your first and last name.
I'd rather not give my name either, yeah.
Okay, then I need to see some ID.
I'd rather not
And
give
I
it.
cannot get you out.
That was my biggest mistake. The lady at the counter just gave me the option to give them a name. And instead of just giving them a fake name and leaving with the money, I declined again. Now she's refusing to cash me out with any ID, and things escalate even further when I ask to speak with a manager.
I'd like to be cashed out, and she said that I needed my ID. I don't
Anybody
know
who's under 30 is required by law, we need to see your ID to verify your age. If I can verify you're over 21, I'd be more than happy to cash you out.
Alright.
What the manager just said is not true. There is no legal requirement for me to verify my age when I'm cashing out just because I look young. Most casinos have internal policies to ID people who look young to prevent them from getting fined when a minor plays their game. At this point, because I've already bought the chips and played, there's an implied contract that it is legally required that they redeem my chips promptly. So as a last attempt to verify my age, I did show him my ID, but I was holding it with my name covered.
There we go. You can see it.
I'm not playing that game, buddy. If you want to give me your ID, I can see your ID. And I can verify your play.
Date is there, sir.
Look,
Yes.
not again. I know what you're trying to pull. If you let me see your ID, we'll cash you out. But I know what you're trying to do. I'm not going to play the gaming game.
I'm not playing a game.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you do it security. How's that sound?
I'm not really sure what he thought I was trying to pull, but it really pissed him off. So to be clear, by refusing to cash me out, this casino manager is breaking the law. He was now one pissy baby, and I left the diapers at home. It's crazy to me that he wouldn't accept my ID because he didn't like the way that I was presenting it. Anyways, he called security to have me escorted, and we had this exchange.
How you doing, boss? Doing alright. Good. My name is security here at the Nugget. They legally have to see your ID physically in their hand, otherwise they're not going to cash you out.
They legally have to see my ID in their hands. In what world would that be true?
You can call gaming control if you want to. Okay. Take that up to gaming control, and then they can advise you from there. But as of right now, they're not going to cash you out unless they can physically identify who you are.
The security guard was nice enough and just trying to do his job, but I guess the job description doesn't involve knowing all the gaming laws and procedures. I would have called gaming and they surely would have helped me cash out, but I didn't have an eSIM with call, which was a big mistake on my part. At this point, it's pretty certain they were not gonna cash me out, so I just took my chips and I left. On the bright side, I did win $3,325 this session. As I was leaving, I actually walked by a police station, so I went in and I told them the situation. Here's what they said.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. When it comes to private businesses, especially casinos, we have no authority when it comes to their policy. You can definitely take them to court for it, but yeah, we have no authority to do anything.
It is illegal though, you guys know this.
Yeah, so what happens is, it's like a contract, right? It's like they agree to, pay you this or that if you win, and if they don't, that's definitely not okay, and you can sue them for that. But it's not a criminal statute that we can enforce.
Alright, yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys.
Alright, just got backed off from Golden Nugget. They just refused to cash me out entirely. Golden Nugget, but it's not right, man.
Illegally refusing to cash happens way more than it should, and it's something every single card counter will eventually have to deal with. Fortunately for us, the law is on our side, but it's just really annoying. Next time you'll get to see how I deal with getting backed off over and over again, and the grind of card counting in Vegas. For now, I've been Pinkman. Alright, I'm gonna just go.